Hi everybody, I'm Susan Mulvihill on a very cold day in Spokane, Washington. How would you like to make free or nearly free natural decorations for the holidays for both inside and outside your home? Well, that is what I'm going to do today, and I'm going to show you how I put them together. And to be honest, I think that natural decor is much prettier than a lot of the store-bought stuff. So come on along with me and let's see what we can make. Now, for the types of projects that I'm going to do today, I need a few very basic tools. I'll show you those in just a moment. And I also love to reuse, repurpose, recycle things so that I have zip for expenses. So I'm going to show you those as well. Now, as far as tools and supplies go, I'm going to be needing a couple of types of pruners, a pair of diagonals or wire cutters, and that's because I'm going to use this floral wire. You could use a heavier wire if you wanted, especially for things like swags, but this is so inexpensive. I've probably had it 20 years and I've used very little. It probably cost me $1, so minimal expense. I also have a pair of gloves because some of the materials I'm going to be handling are pretty prickly. And then I have saved ribbon that I've used over the years for bows on wreaths and swags. And because I'm using it over and over and over, plus I'm sure I bought it on sale, that's really keeping my costs down. Because I'm going to make a wreath, I'm using a grapevine wreath that I bought ages ago on sale, probably at Joann's. And I have used it probably 20 years. It's still holding up great. It's super easy to work with because you just tuck the materials into the nooks and crannies of the wreath. But you don't even need to have a wreath form like this. You can just take a pliable branch from a shrub or a tree and wrap it into a circle and use that as your base. So I'm talking about really keeping the cost down. I also showed this in the last picture. I forgot to mention something. These are some decorations that I bought a few years ago, and this is something that you could poke into wreaths or into a decorative pot or swag or something like that. But as I mentioned earlier, I just love using natural materials, and so that's always my preference. And last but not least, I'm going to use this galvanized pot for a decorative pot on our front porch. I love this thing. I got this ages ago from Gardener's Supply. I don't know if they still sell them, but this is something that will stand up to our wintry weather because all of these things I'm making today will last beautifully for the entire winter season. It's always a little bit sad when I have to take them down when spring arrives because they still look so great. So if you have some type of a pot that you want to put on your front porch or on a deck or something, by all means do that, and you'll see what I'm going to do with this one. Now it's time to harvest some materials for my projects, and I will put the name of each plant on the screen just so you know what I'm picking. But the thing is, I do realize that you live in all different kinds of climates, so you're going to have different kinds of materials. What I would suggest is go out into your yard, and if you see something that looks interesting, take some snips of it and put them in your projects. Just see what you have around. The other thing I want to say is that if you are on good terms with a neighbor and they have something really cool in their yard, maybe it's a spruce or a fir tree or something, ask them if you can take just a few branches. And even better, what you can do is take enough to surprise them with their own natural holiday wreath. That would be cool. Decorating a pot for our front porch is one of my favorite things to do for the holidays. And you saw this galvanized pot earlier. I strongly encourage you to put it into a wheelbarrow or on a cart or something so that once you have it all decorated, you can easily transport it to your porch or your deck or wherever you're putting it. I have already filled it with some old potting soil, and that makes it really easy to push the different materials into it. So let's get started. Okay, so now it's time for the official unveiling. So here's the first swag. It's the longer of the two, and I have to tell you that Bill helped me hang it because they really are pretty awkward to do by yourself. But I'm very pleased with the length of it. I like the bow, which is real simple. I like the color in there, and it looks very welcoming. So here's swag number 2. I made it a little bit smaller because this is a smaller gate. This is actually the gate into our orchard. And every now and then we get moose visitors, and I'm kind of picturing they might munch on the crab apples a little bit and help themselves to what I've put out. But I think it just dresses up this area. It looks very nice. So here's the wreath I made for next to our front door. I'm really happy with it, especially with the Oregon grape, because it looks like holly, which we don't have growing in our yard, and it just looks very festive. I even like the berries, which are fake, but they really brighten up this area, so I'm very happy with that. I also wanted to point out that I have 2 of these picket planters that my dad made me ages ago, probably like about 30 years ago. I just love them, and so what I do this time of year to make them look festive is I just cut some short branches of ponderosa pines and just lay them in there. I might even put some ornaments on the top just for fun. And last but not least, here is the porch container that I made. I'm happy with how it looks overall, but I always bring along a pair of pruners after I put it in place because I can see that this branch might be in the way as we go up on the porch or somebody else does. I did try to make sure that the bow faces the walkway, but I think that it looks really nice. I did bring some extra crab apples to maybe touch it up a little bit. I've got a piece of rhododendron here and also some red twig dogwood, so I can fill in anything that I think needs filling in and go from there. Okay, I added in a few more things and I'm officially declaring it finished. Thanks so much for watching today, everybody, and for watching my videos throughout this year. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday season surrounded by friends and family, and that you enjoy this beautiful time of year.